pane is, hold on, I just gotta hit this guy. Okay.
I mean, well, at the end of the day, everything starts at the designs, does it not? Like, you always got to start at the designs.
Yep. Everything starts at designs. Yeah, because that's the part that's going to take you guys the longest. And the reason it takes the longest is because we want to ensure that all of our contact information on there is correct, that our branding is on there, that it looks the way that we want to be represented in our business, right? So, but Keller Williams did us a really big favor, and they created a bunch of templates for us, which means we don't have to be code writers. We don't need to know how to write HTML. So we're going to tap into those templates inside of Command and basically customize it for ourselves and for our needs, and then send it out to a selected group of people that's inside of our database. So I do want to start over in the designs section, which is the little painter's brush icon. Yep, that one. And when we're in here, the first thing you're going to see, this is our designs dashboard. So any designs that we've ever created are housed here. You can run a quick filter up at the top right and search specifically for different marketing piece types. So whether it's social media or email, print marketing, or videos created. So we're going to pop on over into the email just so that you can see when we do email, these are the emails that Giancarlos has already created. And at this time, we could either plug into one of these previously made templates. We could duplicate one of our previously made templates, or we could start all fresh, all new, and create a brand new template. So if we come on back, Giancarlos, to the dashboard. In the top right corner, we have a blue button that says Create Design. So that's where we're going to start. We're going to hit Create Design, and we're going to choose Email, and we're going to hit Continue. Now, KW gave us these KWRI templates. There are 72 different templates. Are you ever going to use all 72 templates? Most likely not, right? Some of these templates are made with a purpose in mind, and some are made to be just generally used, and some have some pre-filled content in them, which is really nice. So if we were back up towards the top, there are some that say, for example, like protect your credit, mortgage modification, that second line there, those are pre-filled content emails. So that way, if you're looking to share information with your clients and you don't really know what to write, like a blog post or something like that, they have this in here. So it gives you a nice skeleton to work from, and then you just kind of put your own words to it and your contact information to it, and you can send that out. Today, what we're going to use is most likely our newsletter templates. We have newsletter B and A templates in modern, classic, and approachable. Now, modern, classic, and approachable are just a style type. Modern is very chunky, black and red, bold graphic. If we look at the classic, that is like your serif fonts, kind of like a newsletter, newspaper script. And your approachable is sans serif, so it is very thin lined, modern looking,
minimalistic.
Yep. So those are just the differences when you see modern, classic, and approachable. They're the styles or aesthetics, we can call them. We also have A's and B's. So B newsletters are packed full of lots of sections for you to be able to put in your listings and lots of content and really enrich those emails. So you'll have about 5 different sections that are customizable in newsletter B's. Newsletter A's, they are much more simplified. It's really one section, and you can easily replace that information with your content and get that out there. So that's probably what we're going to use today. Is we're going to use the style A. That way we don't have to do a lot of editing and deleting of extra text blocks and things like that. So whichever one you want to utilize, Giancarlos.
Let's go with approachable A, right? You said the A?
Yep, yep.
Perfect.
So if we click it at the very bottom right, then we hit next. That's going to open up the template for us. All right, so here is our template, and it looks kind of like a mess, right? It looks like, what is all of this stuff? At the very top, we have what says market center name. It looks like an image here. This information, along with the information in the agent section, actually backfills in from your marketing profile. So before you get started here inside of emails, I want you to make sure that your marketing profile is complete. If it is not complete, you're going to get stuck. You're going to get a little hung up, because what it's doing is extracting the information from your marketing profile, and it's going to put it right here onto this email template, which allows you to not have to add all that extra information. It's already in your resources, so it's going to just tap into that. If you want to take a look at what the actual content is that's backfilled in there, at the top right, it says options. There's a drop down and preview. So if we hit preview, here you go. You can see that it put the City Life logo up at the top for Giancarlos, his headshot, his contact information, his website link, mobile app link. So you can see it does backfill in with that content, along with our legal footer, which has your content in there about the market center and about your team. It looks like Jimmy has a question.
Yeah, thanks, Katie Jo. I was talking with Giancarlos about this, where I was originally doing a lot of this design on Canva, and I wanted to simplify my life by running it all just through the command. So one of the things that Giancarlos gave me a heads up is that, you know, it may have to be in the PDF format versus Canva has the I forget the initials for the sharper file.
The PNG.
So there you go. So with that being said, I mean, I love the fact that the templates are already there, because a lot of the times I'm there with, I don't want to say wasting time, but creating the whole Keller Williams and the font and all of that. So do you see it as the communication between those two, like a Canva and the command? I don't know if you've used that app before, if it's a simple union, or if, you know, I can do like a cut and paste from the templates that are there on command, do it on Canva. Then I don't know if I'm doing an extra step by uploading it. You see what I'm trying to say? Yeah. So I'm kind of like starting with this. So it just seems like you have more experience, that you might be able to better navigate me in terms of, yeah, Jim, don't run, 5 blocks. Instead, you could do all that by just running 1 block.
Yeah.
Katie Jo, I explained to Jimmy that both of us use Canva at a high level. Mm-hmm. And I remember I asked you, so for example, one of our agents, Carmen Simmons, he's been an agent for a long time, and he has marketing that he's been using for a while. He is not a fan of changing anything. He loves the font and how everything is set up. So I remember asking you that if you have a template that you prefer, right? And not necessarily speaking to Jimmy's point, because he's in the process of creating his marketing. But if you have marketing that you favorite or that you like, or maybe someone created for you, and this is just, again, what ifs, right? You can upload it into Designs as a PDF, and it pretty much integrates or translates. I keep forgetting the word. And sometimes it doesn't pick up certain fonts. So like it'll tell you, hey, this font is not available, but you can have this font. So that's what I was trying to explain to Jimmy, that even if he's using stuff from Canva and he loves what he's doing, if he's doing something different, maybe that Designs doesn't have, because again, sometimes Designs may not have something specific that you're looking for. Mm-hmm. If you just bring in the Canva instead as a PNG, as a PDF, it becomes editable, which then means that you can now play with it within Designs. Is that still true? Because that's pretty much what I told you.
Yeah. I would say if you're going to be creating any print marketing, or you have print marketing that you like, then definitely downloading as a PDF and bringing in to the design center as a PDF, which would allow for most elements, not always all elements, to be able to be editable. When we're talking about this email template though, Jimmy, I would still use your PNG format. So this we cannot embed PDFs on. So what we would utilize in the email templates is the PNG. The only other suggestion I have is you want to keep your PNG not at the highest resolution, which kind of sounds contradictory to what we would want to do. But there is a space limit in these emails. So same thing like if you were used to using MailChimp or any other email creator, you want to make sure that you're staying under 1 megabyte for your image. So as long as you're staying under 1 megabyte for your image, you should be good. But what my practice I've been using, and especially for something like we're doing today for the holidays, is if you find an image out on the internet or you create one in Canva, you create a flyer for a holiday get together for your client appreciation, download that as a PNG, and we're able to stick it into our email templates really easily. So that way, again, your fonts are the way you want them, the color schemes the way you want them. The only thing that you would have to make sure stays and maintains on this email template is that legal footer. So basically the whole email is almost like an image, but as long as we keep our legal footer at the bottom. So we'll get a little bit more into that, but PDF for any print marketing that you want to do, or even social media, you could do that. But for email templates, you want to use the PNG format. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep, you're very welcome. Let's come out of this preview here, Giancarlos, if you could
Yes.
for me. All right. So we see that information does backfill in. The rest of this information on here, from headline copy down to the button that says link copy, this is all editable. So we're starting off with this smaller template because we don't want to put too much content in here for our purpose today. Our purpose is we're going to put a holiday image. We're going to wish our clients a very happy holiday, and then maybe a link out to some sort of giveaway you're doing for the holiday, or a landing page, or to your website, something like that. So if we take a look at the text block that's there, a lot of people ask me, what language is this text block in? This is marketing technology text. So it's not a real language, and it's really meant and is purposeful so that you can see what a sentence or a paragraph would look like in that style font. All right. So what my thing is I like to just highlight all of the text that's there and start typing over it. So when we click on the text box, there was a little pencil button. Can you show them that pencil button?
Where we are on in here?
Yeah. You might have, yep, that one.
Which one?
You might have, there we go. See,
Okay.
on that text block, there is a
Oh, I
pencil
see.
and a
Right there.
garbage can. So
Yeah.
if you don't want that text block, you can get rid of it. If you want to edit it, you always use the pencil. Yep. So we're going to use the pencil today. So we're going to click on the pencil. We're going to highlight the text that's there. All right. And we're going to start typing in our own holiday greetings. So whatever you want to put in there, Giancarlos, like, yep. Awesome.
Right. That's good.
Yep. Now, at the same time, you are not going to see those changes until you hit the word done. So if you hit the word done, that's when it actually makes the change on your template. So you can see that it consolidated it there. Go ahead and click back into that text block for me. The other thing we can do is we can actually add merge fields. So earlier I talked about how this template pulls your agent information to backfill into all of these brackets here. from your marketing profile. So what we can do is we can actually personalize these emails. So if you, for season's greetings from KW City Life, if you wanted to say, hi, Katie Jo Remmel, season's greetings, or hi, Tierney, what we would do is add a merge tag. So we would do hi, and then up in the right corner, you can see it says agent first name. We're going to scroll down until it says contact first name. All right, so at this point, this would say hi, and then whoever you have sent this to, it would put their first name in, depending on what their first name is in your contact in command. So if you have me in as just Katie, it'll say hi, Katie. If you have me in as Katie Jo, it would say hi, Katie Jo. All right, now if you want to be a little more formal, you can put the last name as well. All right, so now it'll say hi, Katie Jo Remmel. So it's really up to you. And this will get personalized per contact that you send it to. There is one thing I want you to make sure is, and it is dependent on your database, is that when you send this out, it will read what you have in command. So if you have names, nicknames in there, or if you have identifying names in there, like John the pizza guy, right? This will say, hi, John the pizza guy, right? So you just want to make sure if you're using these merge tags that they're appropriate for the way that your database runs. If you're worried about the name not coming over clearly, you can just leave it unpersonalized and just say season's greetings. So it's really up to you. I have seen some people's databases that it says something maybe like, Katie, don't call her ever again. Like, so you want to make sure that that doesn't happen to you, right?
Hey,
so,
Joe, you mind if I say something real quick?
Yeah,
And Tierney and Jimmy, this goes back to our conversations, like how, like, knowing your objective and who you're contacting. It's much easier to pick 10, 20 people from your phone, put them on here, get some emails, and be a lot more informal and be like, hey girl, or hey homie. And whereas if you're trying to attract leads, you're trying to attract people or get people's attention, you want to be more formal. So at the end of the day, it really all depends. The objective, at the end of the day, the objective of your, or the purpose of your, of this campaign is what's going to kind of dictate how you're building it. So if you're having trouble, like, what should I write? What should I say? It's much easier to talk to friends than it is to talk to strangers. So I always tell people that if this is the hardest part for you, literally round up 20 people. You don't even need a lot of folks. You just need maybe 10 to 15, maybe 20, and just let them know, hey, I'm sending you something. I hope you like it. Let me know what you think. Sorry, go ahead.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Knowing your objective at the beginning of this is perfect. And it'll help you write your content. Because I think that's the part that everybody struggles with, right? Is what do I say?
It's coming up
That's
with
my
like what they're going to
hardest
say.
part.
Yeah.
I never know what to say. But if you want to use those merge tags, definitely utilize them. And then again, when you hit done, you're going to see over here that it's first name and last name in brackets. So they're not going to see it that way. It will backfill in with their first and last name. Now we have a second text box here that we don't need. So we're just going to use the garbage can and garbage can it. Okay. We also have the headline copy up here. So this is like your title. So if we go ahead and hit the pencil button, we can edit that as well. So we'll highlight that and we can just type in happy holidays or whatever you want. Yep. And again, we do have some formatting options in here. You can italicize, underline, you can change the colors, different things like that if you want, just for, however you want it to look. It should be good. Yeah. So now we've got it in the red. It looks good. All right. So happy holidays. Now we also want to put like an image of Christmas or of snow, whatever. So on the right hand side, we have what's called widgets. I just got to move you guys over here so I can see them a little better. So on the right hand side is called widgets. So this is where we're deciding what we want to put in addition to the template that's already here. So I want to put an image in here. And Jimmy, this is where you can use your Canva images. what we want to do is we want to click down and we want to drag it on over. When we drag it on over, you're going to see a green line pop up. That green line, no matter where you put it, that's where it's going to drop that image block. All right, so he dropped that image block. Now what we want to do is we want to upload the image that we want to use. Now, the first thing is says my images. My images is going to be used from any images that you have previously uploaded into an email template before, which is really great when you guys like to use your own branding. So like if you've uploaded your logo before, or you've uploaded your headshot or something like that before into an email, it'll be accessible here under my images. The next one is listing images. So that option is so that when you want to advertise a listing, say this was for a just listed email, you can pull straight from the MLS the images, the description, the details of all of your listings, or any listing actually in the KW system. So that way you're not having to have both your MLS open where you're copying and pasting and saving those photos. You can just pull it right from the MLS, which is actually KWLS. Right there. And you're going to search by either MLS number, property address. I think it's
KWLS ID.
Yeah. And most people don't know the KWLS IDs on stuff, so don't worry if you don't know that. Go by MLS or property address. The third option is add image, which is just an upload feature where you can either drag and drop or you can pull in from your desktop. Do you have an image? It could just be a logo or anything.
I thought you were going to be able to bring it in through designs. I forgot about it. You can't do that.
Yeah, so that's coming. That part is coming, unfortunately.
Let's do something.
Got that one. Yeah, you grab your team photo. Perfect. All right. So you're going to see it's a little thumbnail down here. You're just going to click on the thumbnail and you're going to hit save. And it's going to pop that image right in there. Look at that fancy crew. All right. So we're saying happy holidays from your team here at KW City Life. If we click on the image, then go ahead and hit done there. Click on the image and hit the little pencil. Yep. So there we do have some editing capabilities. We can either crop this photo if you hit edit. You can or rotate the photo. That's the only options you really have in this edit feature. You can replace the photo. So if you decide you want to use a different photo, you can do that. Alt text. So alt text means when somebody's hovering over the photo, a little pop-up block comes up that says what that image is. So you could say KWJC team or team, whatever you want there. You don't have to put something there, but it does help if you do put something there. Then we have an option to link this photo as well. So I think we lost Jimmy.
Yeah, I think he's on the way to the office. That's why he's
okay. If you wanted this image to be clickable, so maybe you were using it as a text or a flyer and you wanted it to be clickable, we could link the image to a landing page, a merge tag, which would be any of your pages, your website pages, your email, your social media, or web address. Web address, anywhere on the internet, you can put the URL in and we can link out to a web address. Maybe that out to a Google form or an RSVP card where they're choosing, what kind of pie they want, or if they're coming to your appreciation party, right? So we have some options with the merge tag. Yeah, I would use.
And Katie Jo. So the merge tag essentially. So again, it really all depends on that marketing profile. The more information that you have on the marketing profile, the more info that you can provide to whoever is receiving this campaign. That is very important to know, guys.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You can also adjust the width and the height of your image. I was telling Jimmy, you don't want to upload an image that's more than 1 megabyte. The system won't allow you to upload it, but you can adjust the width and the height. The only thing that it doesn't have here is it doesn't lock your aspect ratios, which means if you are editing the width and the height, you want to do it equally in both sides, width and height. Otherwise, you're going to get something that starts to get stretched or squat, you know, so the image might get distorted. But if you add or subtract those pixels on both sides, you'll be fine. Border radius, position, left, right, center. So those are just some basic formatting of your image. If we can go ahead and hit done on that one.
Gotcha.
Yep. All right, so now we're going to come down to the button. It says link copy. There's a black button there. Yep. So we're going to hit the pencil button on the button. So the button, you can put text, change the text on here. It is 30 character limited, so you can't write an entire sentence on your button, but you do want it to kind of be like either telling them what they're clicking or an action. So click here for
or like join me on Facebook.
Yep.
Follow me on Instagram.
Yep.
Download my app. That's a big one.
Yep.
Let's connect. Let's connect could be anything.
Connect.
It could be their website. It could be your Facebook. So don't worry about the specificity, Miss Charity. Just be as general as possible, but still give them a directive, like an action button. That's what we like to call them. Action.
Yep.
Like an action button.
Action. And then again, our link to options are those same three there. Landing page, merge tag, or web address. So if you wanted that button to say, you know, follow me on Facebook, if you use the merge tag.
And you can't use any special characters on the button text. I just figured.
Yeah, no exclamations or anything like
merge
that.
tag, and then we go to
tag, agent, social.
Agent Facebook, agent
Facebook,
Twitter.
perfect. Yep.
Cool.
So agent Facebook. So when they click that, it's already using the link that you have in your marketing profile. So now they'll be able to jump right on over to your Facebook page. You can adjust the width and the height of this button. So depending on how long of text that you utilized. And you can also change the font on there. It's already in the font that matches ours, so you don't necessarily have to change it. Position of the button, left, right, center. And then you can change the color of the button. I love this feature too, because you have your color chooser slider. But I like to use the eyedropper. So if you click on that color and use that eyedropper, come on over to your picture of your team there and hover over Karen's red shirt if you can. Yep. You know what? Hit that. Yeah, hit that.
Or the tie, Greg's tie.
Yeah, perfect. See how that center square is highlighted? It's going to grab that color on that image. So this is perfect if you want all your stuff to kind of match. You can grab any color that you want using that color dropper. So that's a really nice feature. You can change the style of the button as well. If you like a nice square button, you can keep it square or rounded. The higher in the border radius that you go, the rounder the button gets. Most of the stuff, guys, you're gonna leave stock except for the link that it actually goes to and maybe the text on it. But it does give you a lot of customizable options. So if you're like me, I like to get a little funky with my stuff and try some new colors out, try a different color palette. You don't have to go with black, white, and red and gray for everything just because you're Keller Williams. So if you have your favorite color is purple, use purple, okay? So we know those purple people out there, they love that purple. So what's really great is once we customize all this stuff, we're making these like little details, these little finite changes. We don't have to do this again later down the road. And I'm going to show you how you can then duplicate this information without having to do it each time you make an email template, because that would be so time consuming, right? So we want to make all of our changes as is. Again, when you hit done, that's when you see the changes. Perfect. Pop on over just as is. All right. Now on the right hand side, besides text and images, you do have some other insert options, including a listing block, Legal footer, you do not have to worry about if you're using a pre-made template. All right. Pre-made templates already have your legal footer on them. You can add extra buttons. You can add an event block, which would be like for an open house, something like that you could use. You can add video. Now this video, when it comes over in the email, this is actually going to be a link. So you're going to be linking to an online video. So if you house your videos like on YouTube or somewhere like that, you're able to link out to it. It will not play directly in the email. So I just want to clarify that because some people ask that question. And then
so if you were to edit it, you would essentially bring the video URL through the pencil, copy the link, and then you should be good to go.
Yep. And if you need to learn how to create a YouTube channel to do that, I do have that on my YouTube channel on how to create a YouTube channel.
And Miss Tierney, a great idea for this is like if we get in the green room and you shoot a 30-second intro. Hi, my name is Tierney Matthews. I'm a brand new agent with Keller Williams. I'm recently retired from the educational field, and I'm looking to make my mark. Please contact me for more information. That's 30 seconds. We can throw that video right on there, and you're creating the interest, and you're creating the intrigue. So remember, it doesn't have to be this very complicated, overly complex thing. All marketing starts small. And then once the idea starts to build, it starts to grow and get more complex. And then now you start playing with colors, but always just listen to Katie Jo and just kind of go with the default, change the things that, like, again, that are going to be action buttons or things that the client or the person needs to do. But everything else will come in due time. Get in here and you play around with it, just kind of how we're doing now. It's not going anywhere. I can make ample mistakes and it will not be an issue. So it's really fun just to kind of get in here and like really just know. And because again, everybody has a different creational viewpoint of like what they want, how they want to be represented. So just remember that as well.
Absolutely. And you're not going to break anything. And it's not going to accidentally go out to your clients unless we are purposeful at going out to your clients. So we do have a market snap here, which is run by neighborhoods through Nextdoor. Are you familiar with Nextdoor? No? Okay, so Nextdoor is a consumer-based online community, which again was created by the consumer. So we have tapped into that online community and the neighborhoods in which they have pre-designed, and we can get market trends from those neighborhoods. So if you're unfamiliar with the neighborhoods, I highly suggest going on to Nextdoor and checking it out for yourself personally, because you actually can advertise your listings on Nextdoor, which is really nice option too, if your listings are in your neighborhood. So I'm sure you guys have a bunch of different neighborhoods already.
So I actually found out from Steve Gindel that the neighborhood stats can be a little bit inaccurate due to the fact that Hudson County MLS doesn't recognize rentals as like part of the market. So I don't recommend using this just yet, unless we figure out an integration that will be better at dividing both sales, purchases, and rentals. But at this point, the Hudson County MLS kind of encompasses everything into just one, which then can lead to inaccurate information. So that's one. I don't know if you've heard the same, Katie Jo, but yeah, with Hudson County, like it's super inaccurate in terms of like the accurate inventory and like accurate numbers.
Yeah, I didn't know about Hudson County specifically. I know that we have an issue with them for some of my rural areas, just because neighborhoods aren't developed there yet. So, because the consumer hasn't created them yet there. So, it's a hit or miss sometimes with the neighborhoods, but if you're utilizing it in certain areas, it is a nice feature. Okay, so those are the options of items that we can add to the email. Again, we're going to keep ours super simple. Happy holidays, our image, follow me on Facebook, and that's that. So before we leave this page or hit save, I want to make sure that we save the name of this template. So now that we have a purpose. So in the top left is where you save the name so that we can find it later in our library. All right, so we have our name. All right. And then we're going to come back on over to our options real quick before we come out of here. So we already saw a preview, so we can hit preview one more time just so we can see what it all looks like
Look
now.
at that. That looks great.
Look at that fancy pants. Now you can also see what it'll look like on a tablet and on a mobile device up at the top. So a tablet, that's going to just shrink it down a little bit.
Make
and
it
then
more
if we-
narrow, and then
a
you
little
have
narrow.
Yep.
Mobile
Makes it even
device, there
more.
we go. And it's going to stack your information a little bit. So it's a little more stacked down there. All right. But it's still all really highly visible. And you didn't have to reformat it for different devices, which is really nice. So we're going to come out of our preview. We like it the way it is. We have another option, which is send a test email. So if you want to send an example out to either someone on your team, or you want to see what it looks like when it comes into your actual inbox, you can send a test email. When you click on the send the test email, it'll ask you what email you want to send it to, and it'll send to that email. Now, just remember, the test email does count as one of your 5,000 emails you get a month. Every month you get 5,000 emails. A lot of us are not going to go over 5,000 emails a month, right? So
Nope.
I'm not too worried about it. Somebody who maybe has a super, super large database and they're emailing a lot, maybe they would want to up their email account through our marketplace. At any given time, you can add extra emails for a monetary value. But for us, general real estate agents, we're not going to hit that 5,000. So when you send the test, it just comes over as a test and you can see what it looks like in your inbox. Just to make sure that your formatting's the way it is, the colors are the way that you like them. So sometimes it takes a few minutes. It depends on your Wi-Fi, right?
Don't even start.
Yeah, yep.
Just delete these. So there we go.
There we go.
Now you got,
Test.
yep. And look,
All right.
we have our test email. Miss Tierney, take a look at the screen here. I send myself, and again, it's not going to pre-fill in the names. This is just the test. Once
Yep.
you send it and you make it live, it will replace the names. Another tip of advice, put yourself on there. If you really want to see how it looks like, put yourself as maybe your own personal contact, maybe use your personal email. And that'd be a great way to kind of show yourself all the marketing before sending it out if you're someone who really wants to look at it and maybe just be really specific on the creation of it as well.
Perfect. Yep. I highly recommend putting yourself on all your email marketing just so you get a copy, a version of it in your own inbox. Yep. So we've done a test. The other option that we have there is download template. So this would be if you want to download this template, put it into another system or share it with somebody else. You can download the template, and when you go to create a template, there is an upload or import option. So again, most of us aren't going to use this too much, but if you do want to share a template, like maybe Giancarlos has a template that he created that he wants to share with you, he can download that template, share it with you, and then you can upload it into your own system. And I'll show you where you can do that as well. But that's a nice option for sharing your templates. All right, so we have the email how we like it. I'm just going to say save and exit for now.
If we download it, it's going to ask us this, right? Template with merge type.
Oh,
fields.
yeah. Yeah, you can either keep the merge fields or keep it raw without the merge fields filled in.
And again, it's going to download all here on the bottom. So then all you need to do is drag and upload it, which we'll show you in a second. So we're going to save and exit.
Yep. Now, say we were sharing, and right there it is inside of your library. Yep. And say we were sharing this email, like, or Giancarlo sent you an email to share. Up at the top right-hand corner, you see the import design. That's where you would import that file. So you would do import design.
And then it's going to take you to the designs prompt here.
Wait, it shouldn't go there though.
Yeah, because you have to import it
Oh.
from the PDF
Oh,
section here. Yeah.
actually
No?
X out of here real quick for me,
Okay.
or go back. What we want to do is we want to go into the email first. So hit create design, email, continue. And then this import is the one we want at the top right. Sorry about that, Tierney.
No worries.
Top right, import HTML.
And right here, when we go to our My Design templates, the one that we just created is right here on the left
Yep.
side.
Yep. So at any given time, you can come back to this email. You can also, if you hover over the right-hand corner, you should be able to see 3 dots that come up. We might have to come out of here because we're in the actual template selector.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Back to designs here. No worries.
There it is.
Right here. Okay.
There's 3 dots, and we can change the cover image just for easy reference. Otherwise, it's going to look like that email image. We can download the template. We can rename this template, or my favorite thing is make a copy. Something that we utilize a lot in marketing and design is you always want to keep your original template the way it is, because you just took all that time to make the colors, the fonts, the imagery, the way that you want it. And when you go to make this email for a second time, do you want to have to do all that stuff again? I don't want to have to do all that again. So utilize make a copy. So you would hit make a copy. And this one could be, instead of the holiday leadership, this could be an invite to something else. But now all of that content in there is, all of the images are still in there, all of the fonts, the layout, everything that you already pre-did. And then you just reuse that. I always keep an original template of basically everything that I do. That way you can just duplicate, rip off and repeat is what I say. Rip off and repeat.
Rip off and repeat. I like that.
Yep. So that's what I do. I don't have time to make things over again, right? None of us do.
Nope.
So make a copy is going to be your best friend. All right, so we have that template now. Now we have to decide how we want to send this out. We can either send it out in a smart plan, which is that multi-action campaign that has both email, text, phone calls, all those different actionable items. Or we can just do a nice email blast, which is what we want to do today, right? We just want to say happy holidays to everybody. Doesn't need a follow-up, doesn't need anything else, right? So we're going to use campaigns to do that. So come on over to your megaphone, which is campaigns.
And for those watching the recording or just rewatching this back, campaigns, think about it. If you are an Old Navy person who shops at Old Navy like me, and you subscribe to those emails, you essentially give permission to businesses to send you these types of emails. So what you're doing, since you are a business, you are creating the same type of follow-up system that a major corporation like Old Navy, Victoria's Secret, Nike, those companies create. This is the same thing. You're just creating it for a tailored experience and for a personal experience for your clients. So remember that the campaigns, email blast is the same thing as if you were to get a 50% off entire store, you know, for a Christmas sale. So kind of put that hat on when you're creating these things. It's kind of like you're just letting know a massive mailing list, like, hey, what's going on? Happy holidays. So that's kind of how I want everybody to think about it as well.
Yep, absolutely. So if we click on emails tab up at the top, this is going to take us to our email dashboard. All right. Now, this is where you can see how many emails you have remaining for the month. You can see any currently running email campaigns or past campaigns that you have run, along with some data of how many were sent, how many opens you got, and how many clicks you got. All right. So this is just where you can kind of feel out all the data of your campaigns. Now, to get started on now John Carlos here on that red strip, it had said he had 4,089
89
emails still left. So it does run a tally there. And you're able to visualize that before you go to send your other email, right?
And also to give you kind of like a numbering thing, I had 5,000 just like any other agent, and I probably only used about 1,000 in about 6 months. And I have everybody on constant smart plans, the whole office. So I'm sending 200 emails, maybe 400-600. Like now it starts to scale up, and you start to see that if you're someone as an agent or a leadership team, once your business starts to grow, if you have 10,000 contacts, 5,000 emails is not going to be enough to even send a season's greeting. So it scales as your business scales. So there's no pressure for you to pay $20 for 15,000 emails a month if you only have 100 contacts in your command.
Yep. And totally customizable. All right, so we're going to create campaign up at the top right, and we're going to choose email.
Bam.
All right. And then you do have to make sure you enter a campaign name. And this is only you can see your campaign name. Your clients won't be able to see this. Then you choose a goal. The goal choosing is a little less important as in our social media campaigning, because Facebook can see what our goal is. This is mostly used for sorting and filtering and finding later. So you can, for this one, I would choose brand awareness. Yep. And we're going to leave the default command email. We used to utilize MailChimp for our mailing lists. And some people still may, but most of us use the command email. So that's what you want to use going forward. So we'll hit create campaign. All right. That information we just chose is in block 1 and 2. All right, and then we're going to come down to our block 3, which is send to. So who do we want to send our season's greetings to? Now, if you hit the drop down, there are some recipient lists that Giancarlo's had previously made. So you can choose from a list maybe you created in the past, or you can go ahead and create a list right now. So if we hit create list, we do need to name this list. So this is how you're going to name it, whatever group of people that you're sending this to. If you wanted to send it to everybody, that's fine. Most of us are not going to send everything to everybody. We're going to use the tagging system. So if you go ahead and put a tag on there, it's going to find everybody in your database that has a tag. And you can choose multiple tags as well. So if you have buyer in Jersey City, buyer in PA, whatever that looks like, you can choose as many tags as you want. If you choose no tags, it's going to show you everybody that's in your database. All right. Now I like to use the select all option there. So when you hit select all, you can see it says 100 contacts selected, and you could be right, but this little box is limited, so it can only choose 100 people at a time. So if Giancarlo slides all the way down, you may come into, if you had more than 100 people, right there it says load more. So if you hit load more, it'll load the next 100 people. So he's going to come all the way down, and he's probably going to get another load more for 5. All right, now that's all 205 people. We're going to come back up to the top, and we're going to hit select all. Now he's got 205. So if you see 100 contacts, make sure you scroll down to ensure that you're not missing anybody with that load more option.
Unless you only have 100 contacts.
Yeah, under 100 contacts. This could be for one person, Tierney. So if you wanted to make this email template and send it to one person, you could choose a singular person if you wanted to. If you wanted to just send to your friends and your family, maybe that's 5-10 people, you can hand pick. You can actually type in there, type here to search. You could just type their names in there. Okay, I want to send it to Katie. He could type in Katie, and then I'll come up, and you just choose me and keep typing whoever's name you want to include and select them. So you have either a very big bulk style way of doing it, or you can cherry pick whoever you want. All right,
remember, so the tags really help you identify and kind of differentiate with what's going to. So if you want to do a family one separately, tag them with family. If you want to do one for your buyers, tag your buyers. If you want to do one for your sellers, your landlords, etc., etc. Always use the tags. It can really make this process, this part of the creation process, infinitely easier. Because at the end of the day, you have essentially categorized your entire database. And as long as you keep that categorization going, these campaigns become a lot more seamless to create. Because now, if you're like, oh, you know what I got to do today, a Thursday on the 16th, I got to create my buyer smart plan for Monday. You want to tag your contacts who are buyers, so you know you're targeting those specific people.
Yeah, a really good one for you, Tierney, would be anybody that you worked with in the school administration. So if you put everybody in here, tag them, with the school name or just with school, you could run, and this could be an email that just says, hey, I know you know me, but guess what? I have a new career. Just so that I'll give you the same service I gave you when I worked with you in the school administration, right? So that would be a really good, that's definitely a good email. You should do that one.
Again, if you ever, Tierney, if you ever want to build something that's a little bit maybe more personal, and it's like maybe a bio, a little bit about yourself, some of your favorite pictures, anything. And again, people just want to feel like you're thinking about them. And I know that sounds very vain and very shallow, but marketing now is just like thinking largely, but for each individual person, which is a lot more difficult than you really think when you think about it, because everybody wants to be personalized. But again, at a massive scale, it can be an intimidating project as well.
Yeah, that's why these tools are key. Because if you had to hand type and hand email every single individual person, that would be tedious, very tedious.
Yes.
So, yep. All right, so we're going to go ahead and hit confirm. We've got our list here of who we want to send this to. And then our block number 4 is going to be the send from. This is pulling in from your command email section and settings. So if it's incorrect, you can hit edit and it'll take you on over to the command settings section down under command email right there. So under email services. So if you want to change the way your name looks or the reply to email, you can do that at any time right in here. Okay. All right. So we don't need to change anything today. So we're going to leave that as is. And then we're going to come down into our subject. So you can type in a subject, make sure it's an engaging subject. And people sometimes asking a question is good. Making a statement is good. And the other thing you can do is you can put emojis in here. Now, it doesn't have an emoji picker. However, you can copy and paste emojis from online. I use Emojipedia. If you just Google emojis online, you can copy and paste from there.
And that's easy as opening up a brand new tab. Just go to the Google and look up emojis.
Yep.
Or if you're looking for a specific emoji, this is what I do, Katie Jo. I'm a little bit more caveman. I'll go alarm emoji. If I need a Christmas tree, right? So I'll go Christmas tree emoji. And it'll take me right to again, Emojipedia. That's a really good one. And if you click on any of these websites, it takes you right to the specific emoji. And I believe if you scroll down, no, not here. Where's it at? You can either highlight it and copy paste it. Keep it nice and simple. Hold on, let me see if I can get it. I can't. All right, I can't get it. That's fine. Can I get it here? Yep. Copy. And then when I go back here, my little tree shows up.
Yep. So emojis do encourage people to open your email. I know it sounds weird, but if you see it in your inbox, you're more apt to open it than if it didn't have an emoji in it. So I know it sounds silly, but it definitely works. So think about it. Yeah, I put Emojipedia on my my favorites bar just so that I can go back to it at any time and grab whatever I need. All right, so we have our subject line, and then now it's content. So we already did the big thing was we already created the email. If you hadn't created the email already, you could at this time do that, but we're just going to choose ours from our library. So we're going to hit select design, and right there is our holiday greeting. We're going to choose it. It's going to ask us if we need to make any last minute changes. I don't need to make any changes. It looks good. We can just go ahead and hit save and exit.
I'm gonna just remove like the licensing stuff. I'm gonna actually send this to everybody. This is like this is
Oh,
a
you
really
are?
good idea. Yeah, for sure. 100%.
There you go.
Yep. There you
There
go.
you go.
Okay. All set.
All right, save and exit. All right, it's going to show you a preview right there. Looks good. There's Giancarlo's.
Mhm.
All right. Now, you also have actions up here as well. So at this time, you could preview and send a test email as well. So you have those options while we're inside of the editor here as well.
Right here we have we exit out. Actions, send, again, you can send another test email, but like Katie just said, it's going to count as one of your emails on your monthly total.
Yeah, and we already did it, so we're good. So at this time, we can either save it as a draft and come back to it later. We can schedule it out to go on a specific day and time, or we can send it right now. I want to take a look at the schedule because that one, you actually have some options. You can schedule your email up to 12 months out. This is awesome. So you could essentially schedule every holiday email going out. You could schedule every announcement. You could schedule emails for once a month about, letting people know about your website, your mobile app, anything like that. So you can go up to 12 months out or as little as 2 hours from now. So 2 hours to 12 months. You have a date picker and then a time picker. So you would choose your date and then your time, and you do have to hit apply date and time. When it comes to emails, obviously in the morning is in general when most people are looking at their emails. I used to say to everybody 8 a.m. is good, but what I've also been finding is everybody sends their emails at 8 a.m. So you may get lost in the bunch. So maybe a little bit after 8 a.m. might be better, right? So yeah, it's a science, not an exact science kind of situation there. But choose your date, choose your time, and then when you hit schedule, it will schedule it out. And then you have up to 2 hours before that email goes out to make changes. After that, you can stop your email, but you can't edit it anymore. All right. So if I schedule this out for tomorrow morning at 11 a.m., I have until tomorrow at 9 a.m. to make any changes on it that I want. Okay. This is also good if maybe you are scheduling out emails that have content that is changing or that needs to be updated for that particular month or time, like a market update or anything like that, where you want to run those numbers pretty close to when the actual email goes out. Otherwise, something like that, you could just schedule the day of. So it's really up to you. But I think schedule as much stuff out as long as you have a reminder to update anything you need to update, then you should be good to go.
And again, unless you're creating marketing materials on a weekly basis for open houses, or you all of a sudden got 3 new listings, that's really the only time you're going to practice repetition. And again, Tierney, is what we talked about, scheduling, kind of choosing your days, your 2 to 3 to 5 days a week, or, again, at least you want to go 15 days out of the month where you're acquiring to your social media and to your presence and always touching base with your clientele by scheduling it. It's that set it and forget it. It's my favorite thing to do with technology. You could essentially, with January coming up, you can plan your entire calendar year, or at least 6 months at a time, to make it a little bit more manageable. And again, it starts on a piece of paper. What am I going to do? All right, we got Chinese New Year coming up. We got Martin Luther King. We got Black History Month. We have all these things could be a reason to touch base. And again, it just shows that you're kind of thinking of everything, and it really creates an inclusive and a blanket of like, hey, come one, come all type situation. And that's kind of how you have to think about it as well.
Yeah, even like things like maybe that are personally important to you. Like if you're really into animals, like, you know, National Dog Day or, you know, National Shelter Day, that you know, those can be personal items as well. It doesn't have to just be, I want your real estate business. So this can be just another way to touch base with your people, let them know what's going on in your life. But I like that you can do it systematically, and you can use these templates, which are nice imagery and fonts and text, which sometimes, like if you try to send an image in your regular email to somebody, it doesn't always render, right? Like you'll get a box with an X in it. This will ensure that your image is seen, right? So if we go ahead and we scheduled that out, it pops us back on over into our dashboard. So we hit schedule, it'll tell the date. Now, when this goes to send, it'll say how many actually sent, how many opens, and how many clicks. The clicks come from any button inside of the email. So it could be the button that you directed them to, or it could be the link to your mobile app or your website or anything like that. So it's just really focusing on if they clicked something inside and was taken to like your web somewhere exterior. Okay.
And if you have, sorry to cut you off, Katie Jo.
Okay.
If you have 10 clicks on 100 people and you notice that 10 people downloaded your app, it's safe to assume like, okay, those 10 clicks were my app. If you have maybe 17 clicks and you only got 7 downloads, maybe those 10 remainder could be your website. So again, pay attention to kind of where it's coming from. That way it's easier to adjust that marketing, you know, that marketing objective. Because again, if you see that, you know, your goal was a brand awareness and you snuck in your download app and a lot of people loved what you were giving and downloaded the app, that's like, okay, I need to do more things like this because this is clearly creating engagement. And at the end of the day, you don't want to really get caught up in the hoopla of like, oh, like did it sent, you know, how many opens? Don't worry about that. Because at the end of the day, I can tell you right now, I delete tons of emails, thousands of emails even on a daily basis of stuff that I don't need. But again, don't get caught up in the success based on the numbers, especially when you're starting out. Again, it's always going to evolve and it's always going to change.
Yeah, sometimes this stuff takes time, you know, and sometimes people who haven't engaged since you've started all of a sudden start engaging in your content. So don't just disregard them because they haven't engaged at this time. It just might not be the right time for them to engage with your content. So as soon as they need something from you or something really speaks to them, you know, then that's when they start engaging with your content. So just because they haven't yet doesn't mean they won't in the future. Like I get tons of emails where I haven't unsubscribed, even though I rarely open them, because at some point I know I need them. Like once a year, I need these emails, you know, or for one specific thing, I definitely need to maintain those emails. So don't get discouraged, like Giancarlo said, if people aren't engaging or you're not seeing a lot of opens or clicks. Just keep doing you. That's what I would say. Keep doing you. But the biggest thing with this is we have to remember is, I mean, all of this revolves around sending an email, right? So what do we need to make sure is in our contact cards? Their email, right? Like we have to have their email to be able to send this content to them. So you want to make sure that your contacts are as, you know, fleshed out as possible with name, phone number, email, address. You know, that's your top content. Also, social media is becoming very popular. So if you want to put in links to social media, which will allow you to direct message people, it'll take you right to their Facebook page or their Insta page where you can direct message them. I have several contacts who will not answer my phone calls. They will not answer my text messages. But if I DM them, they answer me, right? Which is weird. I don't know why, but that's just the way people are. So if you have all the options at your fingertips, you know, then you're more likely to actually get in touch with somebody. So make sure you are getting emails for people and entering them. Every transaction, obviously, that you're going through, you're putting the contact in, and just make sure it has as much content in there as possible. Okay. So that's sending your email campaign. You can cancel your campaign. You can duplicate your campaign by hitting those 3 dots on the right-hand side. And you can archive your campaign once it's done. If you run a lot of campaigns, you don't want to look at it anymore, you can archive them so they're out of sight, out of mind. So that's sending a blast email for the holidays. We took a while to explain it, but it really takes 5 minutes to set the campaign up and maybe 20 minutes to create the email template, right? So 35 minutes out of your day to be able to reach everybody in your database and wish them a Merry Christmas or a Happy Hanukkah or whatever that is. You know, it's totally worth the time. It's totally worth the time. So, did you have any questions?
Okay, not really. I pretty much follow this and I'm going to play with it. I'm more comfortable with this right now. So I do thank you for that.
Absolutely. Yeah. And unless you set up this whole campaign section when you're playing inside of the email template, you can't hurt anything. You can just play around, really make it however you want, stylize it, or keep it as simple as you want. You know, sometimes that's even better. So,
And remember,
you know.
before anything, you're going to go to your name on the top right of your command. You're going to go to settings, right? And I believe, remind me, Katie Jo's command.
Connect settings.
Connect settings. Here we go. Thank you. And this marketing profile. So remember, like Katie Jo previously mentioned, all the information that you put in here, it's going to populate into those campaigns and into those smart plans. So it's important to have, you know, your license number on there, your professional job title as a realtor associate, you know, affiliations, a bio. Again, take your time to create the bio. You don't have to, because it can be added as a widget. You know, the way people can contact you, this will automatically be filled up. Always put our office number on there. And again, for my ladies, specifically my ladies, please be careful putting a personal line on the mobile phone. Create a Google line. Don't put your number out there. There's a lot of creeps. Be very careful. And if you ever need our fax number, we do have a fax number. It's right here. The website, you're going to want to grab it right from the agent site. So just kind of how I showed you, Miss Tierney. Yes. Email, same thing. There's nothing really to put in the legal footer, right, Katie Jo? I don't think agents really need to do unless it's like a specific situation.
Yeah, you don't have to. If you want to put content in there, it is nice to be able to pull it into your social media campaigns. The legal footer would be each office is independently owned and operated. So that's as much as here in Pennsylvania and New Jersey that we need. California needs like a whole book at the bottom of everything, and they need a link to everything under the sun. So luckily we don't live somewhere like that we need all that. So
and then our social, you have, again, it would be your page, Miss Tierney, not your profile. You want them to grab the link from your page. And again, you just go on Facebook, you go to where your page is, and you just copy the address bar and you paste it right here where it says Facebook. So it should be www.facebook.com/TierneyMatthews@KW. I believe that's what we went with. If not, please remind me. No need to do Twitter. Twitter is for terrible people. Don't go on there. Instagram. Your Instagram.
You said it, I didn't.
You want to put your Instagram handle, meaning whatever your Instagram name is, that's what's going to go on your Instagram. Your YouTube. Put our YouTube channel. We have KW City Life JC. Maybe until you create your own YouTube. And again, Ms. Tierney, that goes with the green room. We could always do that if you have some ideas, you want to create some educational stuff. We can throw a YouTube on here. You can become the educational realtor, right? And our LinkedIn, if people want to get to know us, because I promise you, people are nosy. And if you receive something, they're going to look you up, and especially if they're going to do business with you. I know it's like, you know, the world has evolved from a phone call or the yellow, like people are just going to search your name. And if they don't find you on Facebook, they don't find you on Instagram, they don't find you on LinkedIn, that's a red flag. Again, I don't make the rules, but again, you don't want to make yourself a red flag just because you don't have social media presence as well. Katie Jo, do you have a little bit of insight on the Google Analytics ID?
So that's really if you're running Google Ads. If you're running Google Ads, they give you a tracking ID, and it really is going to be used in creating Google Ads inside a command at some point. We're not there yet. but that's where you're going to get that ID if you run Google Ads.
All right. And then of course we don't forget to save.
Yes.
And now our marketing profile is complete, or at least has been saved with all the information we just added. And
Correct.
again, we can change our photo. If you need the team logo, AKA the brokerage logo, let me know if you can't find it anywhere. But again, the marketing profile is your creme de la creme before starting any type of campaign, any type of smart plan. Create, do your due diligence and fulfill the marketing, fill the marketing profile.
Yeah. Also up at the top right corner, it says use my information to brand my site. That's a green toggle. Make sure that's always green.
See, right here.
Yep. You want to make sure it's green. What that does is it pushes all of this information to all of your digital content, which was the marketing section that we were in where we were creating the email templates. It's going to push it to your website. It's going to push it to your mobile app. So that way, if you have to update information, say you update your headshot or your bio, you do it in one spot, which is here, and it'll syndicate to all of those digital platforms, and you don't have to change it on every single platform, which is really nice. So it's like he said, like a catch-all. So make sure everything happens here, and it'll be correct in all of those other digital realms. Yeah,
That's great. Mhm.
Awesome.
Yeah. So if there are no other questions, was there anything else you wanted to go over, Giancarlos?
No, I think the campaigns, we got about an hour under our belt. At this point, I think we should probably do a separate smart plans one, but again, it's basically a lot of the same thing. Thank you for helping me with this. I'm going to be creating a smart plan one, so kind of similar to what we just did with campaigns, but I'm going to show you how to do a smart plan now. So a smart plan, and again, would you agree, Katie Jo, maybe it's a little easier, maybe it's a little kind of like just simpler to put together? Would you agree?
I would say so. I think it's really effective as well, because you can add more steps, actionable steps for you to follow up after your email, which is really nice. Like you don't really need to follow up after a holiday email, but other types of emails, new listings, open houses, follow up from social media, things like that. You definitely want to utilize text messaging and phone calls and taskable items, which definitely allows you to set it and forget it and allow a little bit more touches with your contacts. Yeah. So yeah, that'll be a nice class for you to attend as well.
Yeah. And again, I'm going to be covering prospecting and using the tools in command for prospecting the 20th, right before the holidays at 1 o'clock. It's going to be in person, but again, if nobody shows up, I'll just get on Loom and record some stuff. And again, right before the holidays, you really at least want to have a Christmas, maybe a Kwanzaa. If you know anybody who celebrates Kwanzaa, definitely just reach out to them. And I promise you, it's going to make a difference. A lot of people do not do this. A lot of businesses do not do this. And again, where before we would have to create, X amount of physical cards, right at each one of them, you could just create a nice, seamless, clean, very easy to create. Use your creativity, create some marketing materials, and just let your clients know that you're thinking about them, or at least are thinking about them and want to work with them. Because again, it's all about the balance. It doesn't always have to be about business. Just telling someone a simple happy holidays, they can be thinking in their mind, damn, I really want to sell my house. But if only one of these, realtor guys really send me like a sign, I need a sign, right? And then boom, your email shows up and then they contact you. So think about it this way, you just got to think like a consumer. Always think like a consumer when creating this stuff. I always ask the agents this, what would you like to get from a business or a company? And then take it from there.
Yep. I agree. Well,
Awesome.
It was wonderful meeting you today, and best wishes.